Good morning and welcome to the Take Your Life Back Today show. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, and a host of this show. How many of you folks out there have children and grandchildren that would rather text you than make phone calls? Well, I'm going to give you 8 reasons why we need to go back to calling instead of texting. Number 1 reason is a phone call is real time. It's not something you can pause or put on hold. With texting, we tend to play a ridiculous game that revolves around who has the power play of the conversation. The person who has yet to respond leaves the other person the tenterhooks, wondering if the dumb thing to whether something was dumb to say, if they were just scared off, or you might have maybe offended them because they have not gotten back to you yet. So when they text you back in a half an hour, that's 30 minutes that you have sat there waiting, not knowing what the response might be. Number 2 is you're getting each other an honest sound or an honest opinion right away. In other words, you get to hear their reaction right away. Ums and ahs, endearingly weird little laughs, the excessive use of like and all. Those are all things that you get to hear with a phone call that you could not hear with a text. There are no first drafts. It's what is said is said. No consulting friends for what you should say. No debating over which paragraph should have been written, because everything that's said on the phone call is said and it's done and it's history once it's said. Sure, there's no way to optimize all your best jokes before you say them, but at the same time, if they can't accept your sense of humor, then maybe the conversation was dead right from the beginning. Number 3, it's clear that you're giving them your time. You could, in theory, have the other person on the speaker as you're multitasking with a volley of other people's texts, the television on mute and cooking dinner, but you're still on the phone with only them. And they're going to be able to tell if your voice drops off from, being distracted from other things. And I would sincerely hope that somebody would be able to tell if you're disappeared to answer another phone call in the middle of your conversation. Number 4, it's clear that you value their time. Not only are they worth all of those rollover minutes you have added up all these months, but again, you're not frittering away 20 minutes of their time so that you can seem busy and important. We're all busy. We all have things to do, my friends. And spending time wondering why somebody hasn't texted you back is pretty poor use of time, and it's really annoying too. Number 5 is hearing someone's voice is always much more special. There's always been countless studies on hormones and nerves that have fired up our brains when we hear the voices of people that we care most about. I mean, this is heartwarming. Baby is proof enough. When I hear somebody that I have not heard from, it makes my heart flutter. Think about all the times that your high school crush said to your name in class and your heart basically leaped into your throat. That's how it should be when you hear your mom, your dad, your children, your grandchildren when they call you. But texting, you don't get that same feeling. Number 6, there's something wonderful, old school, about making the phone call instead of texting. We live in a world where you can order anything you could ever think of, from apps to websites online. Taking the time to pick up the phone and call someone is a special thing to do, and I welcome having it done. I doubt that you have a phone cord to get wrapped up in today's world, because the phone cords are hardly ever being used. And if you're in a kitchen, like I said, you can use the speakerphone. You can even cradle it on your shoulder and your cheek, and you can even tape it, like I sometimes do, to the wall and make a makeshift stand. Number 7, there's no way you can misunderstand someone with a phone call compared to texting. All of the text sub, wait for it, text doesn't exist in the phone call. What did they mean? On the phone call is you know exactly what they meant, but with a text it leaves you questioning that. Did you say something that could be construed as offensive to somebody who is very sensitive about it? Well, even if you do overstep that line, at least on a phone call, you're more apt to hash it out right there, right then, rather than stashing your feelings down and letting it fester until it blows out of proportion somewhere else. And with a text, it is so much harder to take care of the situation right there and right then, because With a phone call, you're instantaneously speaking to someone. And number 8, the conversation is between you two, you and the other person. You can't screenshot the conversation to send to friends for instant textual analysis, and neither can they. Sure, you can pull up your best friend afterward and dissect ever last pause and vocal inflection. And if you can't keep a few quality flirting sessions as private things between you and the other person, are you going to be able to do it when it comes time to having a real relationship with anyone? Folks, how many times have you written to someone and they took it out of context? How many times have you text somebody and they took it personal? How many times have you text someone and they took that screenshot and texted to someone else? With a phone call, it can happen. It's between you two. So always remember these 8 things, these 8 reasons to go back to calling instead of texting. A phone call is real time, is number 1. Number 2 is you're each getting each other's and honest opinions immediately. Number 3, it's clear that you're giving them your time. And number 4, it's clear that you value their time. Number 5 is hearing someone's voice is always that much more special than a text. Number 6 is there's something wonderful old school about calling instead of texting. Number 7, there's no way you can misunderstand someone. And number 8 is the conversation is between you two, not the whole world. Folks, please try to utilize calling people instead of texting more often. And I especially say this to our children and our grandchildren. We would love to hear your voice. I think we get more out of it. Texting is a means of maybe if we cannot get through on the phone, but it shouldn't be utilized on a regular basis. I truly enjoy hearing someone's voice because one day, my friends, one of our voices will not be on this earth anymore, and then you cannot hear it. So utilize the time that you do have on earth with each other via telephone, FaceTime, Skype, and use texting as a last resort. And may God bless you.